This fight is honestly, I think, so slept on, and obviously this entire card is stacked. But if there's one that stands out to me personally, it's Dan the Hangman Hooker taking on Claudio Puelles, who is 12-2, 5-1 in the UFC, and he's on an absolute tear, right? I mean, this is the only dude in the UFC with 3 knee bar finishes. Did it most recently against Clay Guida and kind of pulled it out of thin air. It was really a beautiful thing. Earned him performance of the night, and he's really looking pretty untested as of recently. But he's taking on Dan Hooker, who is, you don't want to call him a gatekeeper, but at this point he's like the ultimate levels test. And if you really dive into it, he's lost 4 of 5. However, those fighters, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Islam, and then Arnold Allen most recently, and that was when he made that quick foray to 45, and that might even be Arnold Allen's division. So do you think that Dan Hooker is going to be, at this point in their career, like just a way higher level than what Claudio Puelles can bring? Or is this the opportunity for Claudio that he needs at MSG to really earn some fans and take out a very tough guy in Dan Hooker? Who are you taking?
Yeah, this is a great matchup. Dan Hooker, they're basically just giving him a fight as, the hangman gatekeeper, and they're really trying to pump this Claudia guy because he's on a great fight win streak. He's 26. He speaks English. He's very marketable. He's young. He's up and coming. And if he has a very dominant win over Hooker, man, I mean that's gonna really stir up the internet and the UFC, the MMA world. So I actually like Claudia in this. I think he gets an easy knee or heel hook. I think Dan Hooker can maybe stop the takedown somewhat, but I don't even think Claudia cares. He's just gonna go for the knee, take it out. Don't worry about even tripping him all the way. And easy sub, first or second round.
Yeah, and maybe, I mean, he's been really submitting a lot of guys and has demonstrated just a really cool skill set while down there, a very unique skill set as well. And if he's able to submit Dan Hooker, I mean, only Islam has really been able to do that to Dan. And that would be quite impressive for sure. And if we look over at Tapology, 52% is rolling with Claudio. And to your point, most of it is copper for that sub. So they seem to think that that's most likely. But Dan Hooker is still earning 48%, and in Vegas he's minus 165, right? I mean, Claudio, I know, is someone you've been all over way earlier in the week when the line was closer to plus 170, plus 180, and you knew it was going to narrow, so got in early, which was sharp. But are you at all surprised with all of the narrow action, or do you think it might even be like a pick 'em close to fight night? A lot of late action coming on Claudio?
Yeah, honestly, I think Claudia will be the favorite by Saturday night, or maybe a slight underdog plus 110 or something. So the odds keep dropping every time I look. Started at plus 160, now it's at plus, I think, even 130 now, maybe 120, but it keeps dropping every day that goes by.
Yeah, for sure. So something worth inspecting if you are bullish on Claudio Puelles, aka the Prince of Peru. But in this one, meet, I don't know. I'm pretty okay with the line continuing to narrow because I think Dan Hooker is actually going to make light work of the Prince of Peru. I don't know. I'm just seeing. I was watching his energy during the press conference, and he seems like someone to me who is very happy to be there, relishing in the moment of being a UFC fighter, getting a huge opportunity on an MSG card. And I think he might be underestimating the very diverse skill set that Dan Hooker brings into the cage. I mean, this is a guy who we can't forget had a war with Dustin Poirier, absolutely smashed Nasrat Haqparast, beat Felder, beat Iaquinta, Jim Miller, Gilbert Burns. Like, he's beat a lot of tough guys for sure. And I question if the Prince of Peru is at that upper echelon just yet. And I actually like Dan Hooker by finishing this one. Any last thoughts?
No, great matchup, great fight. Don't comment who you got. You taking the Hangman or the Peru Prince?